Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Back here at Business Mind Developers. Today we're going to, this segment is going to be about limited liability companies. In order to be a limited liability company, you have to fill out what is called articles of organization. And what that is a paperwork that you fill out with the name that you desire. And it's registered with the state, articles of organization. Now, the filing act for a limited liability company is 1003 of 1993. What that simply means is that the filing act, when it was put on the petition, when legislators came together, was 1003. And the year that it was passed was 1993. Therefore, any name that is registered under the filing act of 1003 of 1993 is protected by the state and identified as a limited liability company. Now, what that allows you to do is it allows you to use your name throughout the entire state. They're going to give you certified copies of your registration. They're going to give you a certificate, which you need to keep in a safe place, because that is going to be your gold mine far as your roadmap and your identity and proof of your registration. That allows you to use your name throughout the entire state, so you can have several locations throughout the entire state. You don't necessarily have to operate in one county or one city in the state. You can operate in all parts of the state if you want to. Now, limited liability company, it provides protections for owners. I've heard some say here at Business Mind Developers that it provides protection as far as if maybe if there was some type of issue or a lawsuit, that they would go after the company versus go after the owner. Limited liability companies also, their officers are a bit different as far as classified within a corporation or a limited partnership or a nonprofit. They don't have what is called president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. Now, they may have a secretary treasurer. That is a officer that's needed for an entity, but the way they define it as their officers, there's three titles. When it comes to a limited liability company, you have members. Individual can be classified as a member. You can be classified as a manager. Okay? Now, here's the flip note. You need to catch this third title. The third title is managing member. You see how they combine the member and the manager? Yeah, there's three officers. You've got member, manager, managing member. Okay, so whether they define a member as a secretary or treasurer according to their business plans or their business structure that they have drafted up, that's what the officers are, those three. That's basically it. So now on some state levels, when you're listed as a member, you are confidential, meaning that public records, nobody can see that except the officers of the entity. So that kind of protects you being just listed as a member with some states. You have to check all states' policies and agencies with the information that we speak. Always check the state against what we say here at Business Mind Developers to get the correct information. Just hope that it will trigger you in the right direction here to develop your mind on business. Limited liability companies, you have to have a name. That's the big thing. People want to be recognized in the state. They don't want people tampering with their name. The only flip side is that you have entities that are registered on the state level as doing business as or sole proprietor, which brings a big conflict with state registered entities, because even though you're registered on the state level and you can use your name in each county throughout this entire state, you still take the risk that somebody has went down to a county circuit clerk or a city official or authority and registered at the correct office to operate as a doing business as or a sole proprietor operating only within the county parameters, but being the first one to register it as a doing business as or sole proprietorship, they call them one or the other, and they can operate in that city, even though you've registered on the state level with the same name. So it's a good practice that when you register on the state level, even though you are enabled to operate within all of the counties by right on the state level, on the city level, if you're not registered as a DBA or sole proprietorship, somebody could come along and register that name because it's not in their database, registered by their rules and regulations. So areas that you're going to operate in, even though you register on the state level as an Inc., LLC, whatever, but as far as LLCs, and also registered at the county level to give kind of a double backbone to protect your name. Also, when you first register with the state, filling out your articles, you're going to have to come up with a name. So your name's going to have to be unique. People have been registering businesses for years. So some names that you're going to come up with are going to be extremely similar to names that are registered. And that's what the state does. They protect the entities that are registered. They are the wings of the businesses in the state as far as anyone coming in and trying to tamper with their name. They are the guardians. They watch after the name. So anybody calling in with a name, that's a very serious duty that they do there at the state agency, to make sure nobody duplicates your name, make sure nobody has the same pronunciation, make sure nobody make sure it doesn't even look the same, you know, to discourage. So you have to come up with a unique name. So here at Business Mind Developers, we've encouraged our listeners to come up with several names before calling the state that you will want your business to go by. Therefore, if one is not available, you have 9 more to go by. If that's not available, you got 8 more. If that's not available, you got 7 more. If that's not available, you got 6 more. You got, you know, so forth. You've got name after name that you come up with. If it's not available, one of those, if not several of those, will be available. So that's a great idea. LOCs also allows you to put fictitious names under your LLC. Now, fictitious names are a great thing, which we talked in one segment about fictitious names, and we talked about sole proprietorships and doing business as. You need to tune into that. That was a very good segment to break it down and give some solutions there. But here, right now, about the limited liability companies, you're enabled to put fictitious names under your LLC, which will enable you to operate several businesses. So being that you have a parent name, as far as filling out the articles, you can put additional businesses under there, meaning that you can register assumed names, which they call them fictitious names, so you would have to fill out an application for a fictitious name. And so therefore you can have an LLC that's going that may be whatever you want the LLC to be, and you might have other businesses under there that you're operating. So now you're operating an LLC, and you're also operating several businesses under that LLC. You've killed all the fees of registering different businesses because you put them under one umbrella. That's a great thing for LLCs. Now, another great thing to look into as far as a limited liability company is registering as either a S Corp or a C Corp. Now, when you originally registered a limited liability company, you are a C Corp, meaning that you go by all of the tax deductions of the state, period. Now, there is a different agency or within the state that allows you to register as a sub-chapter S corporation, or they may call it an S corporation. Now, most requirements is 35 members or less. It allows you not to be double taxed as a C Corp, and it allows you to put your individual taxes along with your individual gains when it comes to taxes. And it provides protection for the members of that corporation. So, and registering as an S Corp or a subchapter S corporation comes when you first register the entity. Now, some states include it with the registration of the articles, some states don't. So if you register a limited liability company, you immediately want to ask about how to register as a subchapter S corporation, or they may call it S corporation for tax purposes. Okay? Because C corp means that you just did the articles, that's it. You're getting taxed by the state. You're going by their tax requirements. Being registered as an S corp or an S corporation, or they may call it subchapter S corporation, allows you to avoid double taxation, and the individuals can report their individual gains along with their individual income, and then that way it leaves you being taxed to death for running a business. And also understand, opening up a LLC or any type of entity with the state that's going to give you like a 60% tax cut. I mean, it's going to be awesome. It's just the things that you don't know. But that's why we're glad you're here with Professor Point here at Business Mind Developers to get you on the right track. Now, another thing I wanted to run by with the limited liability companies, that you can also connect your federal ID number with that. Because when you register a limited liability company, it's going to be, that name is going to be connected to your permits, it's going to be connected to your licensing, it's going to be connected to all of your federal documents, your tax documents, your cards, your brochures, your t-shirts, your letterheads, anything dealing with your business. This is what you want to do, is you want that name to be associated with that. So I hope that you have a clear view on how to register a limited liability company. You first have to come up with a unique name. We ask that you come up with several names. You also have to fill what is called articles of organization with a state agency. You also, once you do that, they're going to give you a certified copy, or they're going to give you the documents of the articles. Once you're approved and it's registered, they're going to give you certified copies, a certificate, and a receipt, which you need to put up. Okay? And once that name is registered, this is what financial institutes are going to be looking for, is this certificate, this proof that you're registered, certified copy. So keep it together. So I hope you have a clear view on how to register limited liability companies. You would call a state agency. Okay? Some states, like Arkansas, calls it business and commercial services. Their division is what registered limited liability companies and incs and all those. So other states, you can contact their Secretary of State and find out what division within their organization will assist you on registering in articles of organization. Make sure that you get all the fees up front, how much it costs to start, how much it costs to stop, and how much is the annual fee. That is very important, because that's how they're going to get you far as not knowing financially what you're getting into. Going into with a great idea but not understanding the finances is what will get you. Here at Business Mind Developers, we're not just going to give you the great projections, but we want you to also focus on the worst projections. That way you will have a balance of how to move, and anything that may come up, you'll be able to attack it. So get all the fees up front. How much does it cost to register an articles of organization? What are the requirements? What is the paperwork? What are the annual fees? If I decided to close it today, how much would I have to pay? What are the benefits of it? Do you have any state programs for entrepreneurs or first starters? Do you have a list of numbers, helpful numbers that can assist me? Okay, so this is going to get you on the roadmap. And understand, this is just a basic overview of how to register a limited liability company. The other videos will bring you more and more closer into a projection to where you'll be able to create your own avenue and understand questions is the key to success. Questioning everything means that you're going to find an answer or a solution that's going to give you resources that you can continue to hold with you as you become an entrepreneur and soar. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining Professor Point here at Business Mind Developers. Hope you grow.